Framing is done. To the extent that I'm packing away the air gun, because there ain't gonna be no more need for it. So that's how she is at this point. What happened? That's the last update. Just that I undid the sorry, I completely finished the cross pieces and sorted out what's going to happen at the roof line, at the ridge line up there. That's all sorted out. I managed to keep it within the 12-foot range, within the 12-foot roof length, rather than buying more roofing. And you know, one thing I was really trying to avoid, because my original design obviously had it all set for a 12-foot piece minus 1.5 inches overhang on either side. But once I put in the that bit, you know, it obviously changes everything. So with the ridge cap, which is that up there, the green thing, with that it sort of bought me a few extra inches, in fact about 8 inches all told, which allowed me to make this the length that I wanted it to be. So the only thing left to do is, hello? Why did the stabilizer just give up? Strange. Saying something about batteries. Damn. I don't know. Anyway, I'll just hold it by hand. What was I saying? Yeah, essentially, I'm feeling terrible right now. Actually, I'm suffering from at least hay fever, if not something else. But I'm gonna call it a day. It's still early. I don't think it's 4 o'clock yet, or it might be 4 or something. But bottom line is, I kept it within one sheet. I just need to cut a bit off the ends of them, put them on the front, and then screw them into place, and this project is done. I don't know how long it'll take, because I don't really know what the how I'm actually going to do it, on account of oh, okay, it seems to have stabilized again. I don't know how I'm going to do it, whether I can actually walk on this stuff when the metal's there without it bending the crap out of it. Obviously I'm going to have to try and walk on the rafters, but when you can't see them because you've got your sheathing on top, that's going to be quite a tough call. But we'll see. Right, another update. Happiness abounds. The roof is done. The rafters, the nibbly bits, all of those things done. That's what she looks like in all of her glory. I am so glad that I did that to the roof line, because it wouldn't have been right otherwise. It just would not have been right. I'm very happy with it. It turned out, I mean, apart from the roof line, which, as I say, I think is a great improvement, it turned out as expected. This is sort of what I wanted it to look like. I think the roof line looks a lot better, as well as being more functional. No problems doing everything as far as fixing the roof to the thing. It turns out if you so what I did was to get all of these cross pieces in, I actually just had a spacer. So regardless of the width of the slats that are going in, and they do vary in width, the spaces are all 9 inches, and it turns out that 9 inches on a metal roof, you can walk around just fine. So that's the way to go. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. Very happy with it. It's an enormous sense of satisfaction coming from milling the wood. And that's the other thing. I was really glad that I didn't use the plywood in the end, because now the entire thing is made out of milled wood. Smelted steel, mind. But that cannot be helped. But yeah, that's what she looks like. I'll give you one last shot from a distance. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Well, when I say there it isn't quite. 3 more things to do, and then it's done. The first thing is, as mentioned before, I want to replace that. The framing chisel will allow me to make these cuts here, that indent, in a more wholesome way. Right now it's just fraught with a lot of swearing and dust and all the rest of it, and actually with a framing chisel you can do it in a much more zen-like way. So that's to be replaced, this piece, as mentioned before, because let me pick the worst one. Here's the worst one. You'll see the wood was really soft and it just sucked in, as well as I what's-his-named it too much. I countersunk it too much in the first place. And if you look at the ones over on that side there, I learned my lesson by the time I got there. But so that's one thing. And then the other thing is I need to mill that, and I need to mill and put in these fascia boards here. I think the fascia boards lend it a finished look that is worthy of pursuing. So it's 2 fascia boards, some sort of fancy anglization up there, and one of these, and then I'm done. I attempted to sharpen the blade that was on the mill. That literally took an hour and a half, and the results are not spectacular whatsoever. So I'm going to buy a sharpener. I think rather than keep buying new blades, it seems nonsensical. There's a guy that David knows that sharpens blades, and he does it for $20 a blade. Well, plus taxes and maxes. Well, these blades cost $22. So, you know, bottom line is a sharpener and a tooth setting device, which is just like a handheld, well, bench held, but you manipulate it by hand. It just sets the teeth. Teeth on a band saw of any sort. One goes straight, one leans off to the right, and one leans off to the left. The straight one clears the sawdust. The other 2 represent the kerf, which is the width of your blade, and they do the cutting. The one in the middle so pretty much just clears clear as the sawdust. So as you use a blade, the angles change massively. If it hits a knot, it can knock it further out. And I had that with the one I sharpened. There was one tooth that was absolutely so far out it made the most hideous marks in the wood. And I ended up trying to straighten it out, and of course snapped it off instead, because that's the way these things go. But this is what I'm talking about here. Look, like, if you look very carefully, you'll see that, for example, this one is heading down, this one is heading up, this one is down the middle. See this? They're supposed to alternate, and I can see here the pattern is broken already. So this is an old blade. So bottom line is you need a setter as well as a sharpener. The setters are $300, the sharpeners are $800. Essentially for $1,100 plus taxes and maxes, you end up, or $1,100, you end up with being able to use each $20 blade 5 or 6 times. So, thinking about the future and other people taking over this mill once we've shuffled away, then I think it's worth an investment in the long term. Anyway, there it is. There is the, not well house, what is it? Woodshed. Okay, now I'm finally done. I just had 3 things, right? The replacing this, which I have now done. It's much better. It didn't need it for stability's sake, but I didn't like the look of it. And I did the fascia boards there. Gives it a certain final look. There, all done. The other day it was raining and I was underneath it. Or yesterday, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. It was raining and I was under it. Fantastic. Oh God. What a pleasure it is to be able to make a dry spot. All right. If you look carefully, you'll be able to see the pollen on their little leggies. This is the first time I've seen both hives go. The one on the far side started earlier. These guys were waiting for one more cold snap, and they've got it. Last night was bloody cold.